Good morning. This is Robin Dunn with the City of Davenport Public Works. We are hosting a neighborhood meeting for the Second Street Resurfacing project. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this meeting started. As people come online, I'm sure that they'll catch up quickly. So again, welcome today. My name is Robin with the city's Public Works Department. I will be handing things over to Jen Walker, the Design and Construction Coordinator for the Second Street Resurfacing project here shortly. She's going to give a brief overview of the project and then answer any questions. This session is being videotaped and will be available online sometime Friday. So just wanted to let you know that. So if you know people who didn't get a chance to make it, you've heard questions, that kind of thing, just direct them to our website and they'll be able to check that videotape session out. And this, please hold all questions. Basically, everybody is going to be muted. And if you've got questions, just put them in the chat and Jen will address those after, kind of going through the project overview. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Jen right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen Walker. As Robin said, I'll be the project manager for this Second Street resurfacing project. Residents and businesses in the immediate area will have already received a letter from me, and I do encourage you to read through that. And as it's indicated in that letter, we are strongly encouraging that you provide me and our contractor with your email address and contact information in the rare event that we would need to get a hold of you during construction. And this contact information would also be useful so I can update you once or twice throughout the project regarding our progress. Just a quick overview here. The whole project will take approximately 2 months to complete. And the sequence of a resurfacing project is as follows. Starts with milling, which is scraping the upper 3 inches of the pavement off. That is followed by patching of the underlying pavement, which we need to uncover the surface before we know how many and the specific locations of those patches. The contractor will also be doing some targeted sewer repairs that would require some deeper excavations. They will be working on some, but not all, of the curb ramps at corners. And then comes the asphalt. This will be applied in 2 layers. Then they're going to do some tar sealing and, of course, painting of the parking spaces and center line. So in general, it will happen 1/2 of the street at a time, and there will be one-way traffic allowed in the non-active lane of construction. Another important point here is, in general, pedestrian traffic will be as normal. There are some safety concerns. It is an active construction zone. Like I said, that 3 inches of the surface will be removed. So if you are crossing 2nd Street as a pedestrian, there will be a step down and then a step back up when you get to the curb. I'm going to jump right in and share a map here of phase 1 of the project. So we will be working here first in the eastbound, or the south half of the street, where the designated with this red line. And want to point out here that westbound traffic will be allowed on the north half of the street. The other thing I want to point out are these little road closed signs here on the south side. So what we want to do is not have traffic cross the construction zone. So if your business is located on the south side of 2nd Street, for example, here's the southeast corner of Main and 2nd would be the Redstone Room and RME, we would ask that your customers and deliveries approach from River Drive up to here, and then do your business, and then when you turn to leave, you would leave via River Drive, east or westbound. Another important thing to point out is, and I'm sort of blocked here by the screen. Okay, here we go. The access to the government bridge during this phase of work. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So again, we are working in the eastbound lane, so you will not be able to get onto the Arsenal Bridge via 2nd Street as you normally would. What we're going to ask you to do is go ahead and use 3rd or 4th Street and turn south on LeClaire and make your left-hand turn to get onto the bridge Illinois bound. In order to allow that, we're going to have to close right here, so people that are coming to Iowa will not be able to make that normal left-hand turn to get onto 2nd Street. So all traffic, Iowa bound or Illinois bound, will be via LeClaire Street during this first phase of construction. And so we do plan to start on August 1st. And again, we will start in the eastbound lane, or the south half of the street. Parking will not be allowed on the active side of construction, but it will be permitted still on the north half of the street or in the westbound lanes. Another thing I want to point out is if you are traveling in the westbound lanes, and let's say you want to do business here at Perry Street, we're asking that you not make a left-hand turn, again, across the construction zone. If you need to get to Perry Street, the proper procedure would be to continue westbound to Harrison, down to River Drive, and then up to Perry Street. Brady and Harrison will remain open throughout the entire project. The next phase, which will be maybe 5 or so weeks after the first phase starts, will be in the westbound lanes. So again, here designated with the red line, traffic will be allowed eastbound, as well as parking in the south half during this phase. Now, access to the bridge changes a bit. It's back to normal. We will ask that you use 2nd Street to go onto Arsenal Island, and you no longer would be able to get onto the Arsenal Bridge heading southbound on LeClaire Street, because that would be in conflict with the traffic here coming from 2nd Street. Once again, because the westbound lane is closed, drivers coming to Iowa, once again, should go use LeClaire Street to get to your destination. Driveways that are specifically off of 2nd Street. This would affect the Figgy, U.S. Bank, CBI Bank, their drive-through, the Doubletree Hotel, Peterson Paper Lofts, Tag Communications, Urbane 210, and the Mid-American Parking Ramp. You all have driveways that are off of 2nd Street, and we will maintain access to those driveways throughout the project as much as possible. The only instance might be if we're doing one of those patches that are right in front of your driveway. But the chances of that are fairly low, and we do want to maintain your access as much as possible. So your employees and customers that would be using your driveways, or tenants in the case of the Peterson Paper Lofts, just be careful as you're crossing the construction zone. Of course, look out for equipment, workers, and be aware that there will be a 3-inch drop-off and another 3-inch lip at the front of your driveway. We want to hear from you. Communication is key during these big projects. If you have a special event or a large delivery, perhaps like a semi-truck, we want to accommodate you as much as possible during construction. I have already heard from the Bix Jazz Festival, RME. I want to talk to you a little bit in more detail. If you happen to be listening to this call, please do reach out to me directly. We can accommodate buses and such. We don't want this to disrupt your normal operations. So please do reach out if you have, you know of a tenant that will be moving in or out, or you have some special event, so the contractor and I can make a plan for how we can accommodate. The last thing I want to talk about is a little bit more detail about asphalt operations. So when we get to that phase of the project, there will, like I mentioned, be 2 layers that will be applied 2 separate days. And the reason for that is the first layer has to be cool enough before they begin compacting the second layer on top of it. So actually what happens first, either the night before or the morning of the first layer of asphalt, is they will spray a sticky substance called tack onto the surface. It is sticky, it's oily, it's not something that you really want to get on your vehicle, so do drive slowly through that if you do need to cross construction to get to your driveway. But again, we want to minimize traffic on the milled surface. Then the first layer of asphalt will come. The next day, once again, a sprayed layer of tack and the second layer. Now behind the asphalt laydown machine on both days, there will be 2 rollers that are smoothing and compacting the asphalt. It's critical that at least that first roller passes by before any traffic would be allowed to cross it. So this is where if you do have a driveway, there could be limited times that you can access your driveway, because quite honestly, we do need to let the asphalt cool enough. It's over 300 degrees, so it will melt your tires when it's coming right out of the behind the laydown machine. It does cool as it's being rolled. Sort of depends on if it's in the sun or how hot it is that day, of how quickly it can cool enough. But do talk with the contractor, the workers that are there on site, to know when it would be safe to cross it. And again, if you do have to drive across fresh asphalt, take it slow and try to approach it straight on and not turn your wheels while you're on it. This is especially important for that second final layer of asphalt, because turning wheels will leave marks on the asphalt. And then remember that once the asphalt is down, it looks like a brand new street and that everybody can drive on it, but that's not the case. There is still 2 important finish steps: tar sealing and painting. And both of these need to be done on a clean surface and not have tracked materials onto the new asphalt. So even though it looks done, it's not. Please be patient. We want the best looking and highest quality end product that will last our city decades. Construction always has surprises, delays that we can't predict. It's noisy, it's dusty, it takes longer than we all think, right? But in the end, it'll be worth it. I promise you that. One thing that I do want to emphasize, we have had issues with this in other projects in the past, and that is parking within the construction zone. So the contractor will have cones out, and you are subject to ticketing or towing if you pull into those cones and park. You will see vehicles parked in the construction zone. These are likely the contractor's employees that are there working. They don't want to take up parking spaces on the side streets or on the non-active side of construction, so they will be parked within the construction zone. City personnel with the project, including myself, might also pull into the construction zone, but other businesses and residents should not do this. Typically, brief deliveries from, FedEx or UPS can stop and pull into the construction zone briefly, run in, make their delivery, and run back out. That's all I wanted to cover here today. Let me see if anybody put any questions into the chat. I don't see any. So do feel free to reach out to me going forward to answer any additional questions. There's a portal on our website where the questions come directly to me. Or, of course, you always feel free to call Public Works, ask for Jen Walker. And I look forward to a successful project. Robin, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
So, Jen, I had one question that has come to me a couple of times. The Mid-American lot at 2nd and Pershing, did we get any confirmation on their willingness to allow general public to park there?
They do want to do this via a permitting system. They want to know who's in their lot, I guess, but they are willing to work with the city and downtown partnership to allow your customers and employees to use that parking lot on the northeast corner of 2nd and Pershing. They're gracious enough to do that, but they do want to have you hang a tag in your car so they know who is in their lot.
All right, I'll talk to you offline about making sure we get that set up for at least staff and people who work down there. But thanks for the heads up. I'll catch up with you later on that. Also, we should have this available, you said, by Friday to be able to share.
So I'm going to go ahead and, Jen, as a point of reference, I do have the contact information for the Bix Jazz Society. And then following up, having no other questions, I do believe Kyle did ask about the availability of this recording. Yes, it will be online Friday, and I will send a copy of that to our internal points of contact and downtown partnership. If we would appreciate if you could share that information also. Kyle, did you want to follow up at all about the project or anything like that? Benefit to your community?
Just that I know that there will be complications. There's going to be sewer issues, I'm sure, that are discovered. There's going to be something that comes up that we just don't know is going to be here. So we'll do our best to communicate whatever it is that we know when we know it. I do think that Mid-American lot's going to be really important in figuring out how we manage that. But it'll be great when it's all said and done. I appreciate the information, Jen and others, and we'll share this electronically and get this in front of as many people as we can.
I've got a comment to make if I could. One thing that I was thinking about, Jen had mentioned tour buses of any type, but with the riverboat tours coming in, I know that they go to the museums, Skybridge and those areas. So we might want to communicate with them, with their bus drivers on proper drivability downtown.
That sounds good. So I think with that all being said, I'm sure that things will be changing and constant communication. So anybody from the public that is interested in following the project along or looking on status updates for when we flip and that kind of thing are welcome to sign up for alerts at davenportiowa.com/alertiowa, or to check our Better Roads Davenport.com website. We basically update that on Fridays. And then again, everybody in the project zone should already have Jen's contact information along with the contractor, and highly encourage you to provide your email address and contact information so that they can keep everybody up to date. With that being said, we'll go ahead and close this presentation, and again, it will be available online. And in fact, there will be a link to it at thebetterroadsdavenport.com on Friday. Thank you very much.